With less than 5 fingers, I can count the number of days I went without coffee in the last 5 years. Some days I might need a second hand to count the number of cups that I'm drinking, which explains my hesitation about pursuing this week's mission of eliminating coffee and all caffeine from my diet. Anxiety is one of the supposed side effects of consuming caffeine, but I never felt anxious until it was time to quit. My biggest concern about cutting out coffee isn't even the energy that I'll be losing from not having caffeine, but it's the habit that I have of making a coffee and getting to work. I really didn't think that coffee gave me much energy. I thought it was just a trigger that got my mind into work mode, so I really wasn't expecting many cognitive difficulties through this experience. But the biggest concern for me was that the biggest concern wasn't the energy. Honestly, the biggest concern for me going into this is not the biggest concern for me going in, I've repeated myself like 4 times now. Just to let you know how my brain is operating at the moment, I've had to repeat myself like 5 times today, and that might have something to do with the no caffeine. Yeah, my brain's been struggling. And I realized that I never really drank coffee regularly until after I graduated from university, when I would wait until the last possible minute to do the least amount of work. I've been relying on caffeine to get things done. The other challenge with not having coffee is that the coffee seems to be a signal to my brain that it's time to sit down and start working. And without that warm cup next to me, I don't feel as compelled to start working on whatever my first task for the day is. I never learned how to work without caffeine, and I never learned how to work out without it either. 0 caffeine for 2 straight days does not make a workout an anticipated activity. I made it through the work day, so I'm gonna make it through the workout. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but I'm gonna try my best. I shouldn't say I'm gonna try my best. I should just say I'm going to try. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do as much as I can and hopefully not pass out in the park. Safe to say that I underestimated the amount of energy I received from coffee.
I have absolutely no energy. My head is not in the game whatsoever. By in the game, I mean my head is not even in this life right now. I don't know where it is. It's just floating off into space, which sort of brings me back to my childhood realistically. And I also didn't know what it meant to be triggered until I quit caffeine and I walked by a coffee shop. That's pretty triggering.
And I was right about the difficulty of eliminating the habit. Nothing like a cup of hot water to get the day started. Is this really the point that my life is getting to, where warm water is the best beverage that I can drink to give me energy and get me in the mindset for working? I'm realizing that I need something to occupy myself with while I'm working, and there has to be a better alternative than a cup of boiling water. I've been saving this bag of beef bones since the last time I went carnivore. That's over 2 years that these bones have been sitting in my freezer. I didn't know why I was hanging on to them, but I think the answer finally came to me last night. Bone broth. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see what we can do. Got my coffee replacement here. Bone broth. Let's see how it tastes. Tastes like soup with a little bit more of a greasy texture to it. I think this is superior to the hot water. It might take more than 12 hours to boil 2 years worth of bones into a 5-day supply of bone broth, but there's supposed to be some benefits, like improving sleep quality, which should be twice as effective when eliminating caffeine. I don't think that eliminating caffeine has improved my sleep quality yet. If anything, I think that it's hurt it.
I woke up around 3.
Eliminating cramps by providing you magnesium.
I woke up about half an hour ago with some of the worst leg cramps.
And even supporting weight loss, which should be amplified by my diet. I felt like something was missing in my life, and there was something missing in my life. It was coffee, and I replaced that coffee with just a constant stream of food that I was stuffing down my throat all day. 1 cup in 1 day obviously isn't enough time to get the benefits, so I'm going to continue drinking it to learn if it can help, but learning is a bit of a challenge when my cognitive function seems to be constantly malfunctioning. I definitely think I'm going through some caffeine withdrawals. I tried doing a live stream today and my brain just could not function. Whenever I'm trying to communicate with other people, I just don't seem to be able to put my thoughts together or my sentences together. I'm not a neuroscientist, I don't know how the brain works. All I know is that it doesn't seem to be functioning the way that it used to. And it was never functioning that well to begin with, so it's not like I have a high level of maintenance to keep up with. Eliminating caffeine isn't just impairing my virtual socialization, it's impeding my physical interactions. Met up with a friend today and he grabbed a coffee. What did you want to get? An ice cap. This guy is just trying to torture me right now. I think when the government quarantine is over, the dietary quarantine might begin. Because I think this diet would probably be turning me into a bit of a social pariah. I'm willing to sacrifice my social life if it means optimizing my abilities. But I don't know that eliminating coffee is improving my competence. Definitely feeling this lack of coffee. I think in some ways it might be getting worse. This morning I sat down, tried to get to work, but I just can't get my mind into the task. So far, quitting coffee only seems to be impairing my performance. There's something with a cup of coffee that's contemplative. The cup of coffee makes repetitive, redundant, or difficult tasks more enjoyable. There's something with the taste and the warmth that just relieves the stress and struggles that work tasks bring. And as the only remaining vice in my life, coffee made me excited to go to sleep sleep at night so I could wake up in the morning looking forward to that nice warm cup. Coffee was really the only thing remaining in my life that I was looking forward to, and eliminating that is a little bit depressing. I would go to bed excited to wake up in the morning and drink my first cup of coffee. It was kind of a good vice to have because it would make me excited to wake up and get to work. Is something really a vice if it helps you get things done, with the only perceivable side effects being appetite reduction and weight loss? Or are there some more benefits that I need to wait longer to unlock? Maybe it takes more than a week to recover from over a decade of blasting my brain with stimulants. Some things already seem to be moving in a positive direction. So I think last night I had the most clear dream I've ever had in my life. By clear, I mean I could literally draw a map of what it was telling me. I mean, I can't draw it because I don't know how to draw, but I can remember the actual geography of the space that I was in. And this actual vivid dream also provided me with a vision that merged my experience and passions into a single formula that I can pursue for the next year. Saying that my brain is performing suboptimally while I'm awake is a massive understatement, but it seems to be functioning even better while I'm asleep. These dreams that I've been having since eliminating caffeine are basically taking me into reality from a dream state where I'm getting clarification on what I need to be doing. And I don't know whether or not that's a result of me waking up in the middle of the night thinking about the work that I have to do today and just not really being able to differentiate between whether I'm sleeping or awake, or whether it's actually me sleeping and from this dream state working on the problems I'm going to have to solve in life. It might be receiving that functionality with even less sleep. So for the last 2 days, I realized that I have been sleeping through the night better, but I've still been waking up really early after just about 5 hours of sleep. So I'm curious whether I need less sleep because I'm consuming less caffeine, or if I am just not sleeping well. If you wake up without an alarm, is that your body telling you that you had enough rest and you should just get up? Because if so, then eliminating caffeine has made me require less sleep. But I still feel tired and low energy, so tough to say. I don't know for sure that I need less sleep, but I'm confident that I'm waking up with better dental hygiene than I've had in years. Day 7 without coffee, and my mouth has never felt this clean before. When I wake up in the morning, I feel like I don't even need to brush my teeth. Not to mention the money I'm saving from not buying coffee.
I keep seeing things like a coffee shop and thinking I should stop in there and grab a coffee so I have something to hold on to while I'm walking. And I realize, okay, I can't drink coffee, but then I also realized that's kind of an extraneous expense that I don't need to burden myself with anyways.
Which means I no longer have to wait in lines at grocery stores thanks to True Local for delivering all of my food to my door. If you want to avoid the grocery stores and get some of the best tasting, healthiest, locally raised animal products delivered to your home, then check out truelocal.ca. And if you want to avoid leg cramps, then consider replacing your coffee with bone broth. Or just add bone broth without skipping the coffee. I just noticed that since I started drinking this, I haven't had any cramps. Maybe there's some nutrients in here that I'm missing in my regular diet, or maybe they're just on a hiatus right now. I'm gonna go and do a leg workout later. That will be a good test of whether or not this bone broth really is helping with the cramping. Finish the workout and no cramping. Maybe this really was the solution. So it looks like we're on a good trajectory here, but I've been fooled in the past, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself with this. It's too early to give any definitive conclusions on eliminating coffee. Drinking coffee is a habit that helps me start a productive day, but can this habit be replaced with another warm beverage? It gives me energy and focus while working and working out, but can I get even better benefits by improving my sleep quality? My brain does not seem to be functioning, but will that function return when I get past the withdrawal symptoms? If nothing changes, then I'm definitely going to be drinking coffee again in the future, but I'm following a carnivore diet to measure its effects on my mental and physical performance, and the last time I checked, coffee is not an animal. So until I take the final health diagnostics, I'm going to eliminate coffee and every other form of caffeine from my diet. If you want to know how I'm feeling after a few weeks or a month without caffeine, then let me know in the comments and I'll post another update video. I'll continue struggling through this for all of us, but I'm also curious whether I can forget about these struggles if I continue to restrict my diet even further. Eggs come from an animal, but they're not one. And they are one of the most common food intolerances that people have. That's why next week's mission is to eliminate one of my favorite and most commonly consumed food items, eggs. I've learned in the past that sometimes becoming more restrictive helps you forget about the former restrictions. So perhaps this will make the elimination of caffeine even easier. Or perhaps it's just going to continue to ramp up the difficulty. If you want to learn how these changes affect me, then subscribe to this channel. If you made it this far, you must like it, so smash that like button. Thank you all for watching, and I am super excited to continue sharing this journey with all of you.